Part 2. First, let me tell you, I put goat cheese on my garlic bread. 10 out of 10. Delicious. Okay, so now we talked about insurance in the previous video. We're gonna talk about the disbursements and the draw process for after you close. So if I would have known this before, I would have sent this information over as I got my bids. So there will be a couple documents that are required when you're doing your draw. The first thing is going to be an invoice, obviously. The second thing is a W-9, which I should have known that a W-9 is always needed for all payments processed. So W-9, and the third is a lien waiver, saying that they're gonna do the work, they're gonna get paid, and they're not going to put a lien. So I wish I would have kind of started collecting those documents sooner, where right now I'm like scrambling and collecting them. The other thing is the lender has a document that they want signed, and it's basically just reiterating all of that information, but they want it signed and initialed after the work is done to process payment. Well, the power company needs the full payment first in order to do the work for like the poles and everything else. So we're in a little bit of a debacle right now trying to figure that out, because they were like, oh, we can only disperse 50%, or we can only disperse max this number. And I'm like, well, that doesn't work. Their policy is, and it's like, well, how am I gonna tell Tri-County Electric to switch their policy just to accommodate me? Like, that's not gonna happen. So I'm working with them to get some things switched up and moved. But the other two, which would be septic and well, and then the electrician after the poles are done, who will set the meter and everything, they will all have to be paid after the work is complete, which that's fine for a normal, like smaller company. Most of the time that's how it goes. It's just with Tri-County, they're putting their foot down. So I wish I would have known that sooner and had these conversations and like set clear expectations and let everyone know, like, this is what this person needs, this is what this person. So as you're getting your bids, ask those questions. Are you fine being paid once the work's complete? This is how my lender does it. This is their disbursement rules, or whatever the case is. Ask the questions, because I didn't know what to ask. I've never done this before, so it's just a learning curve all around. So that's where we are now. I am scrambling to hurry up and get this dispersed so that we can get power going, because that is probably going to take the longest. And I think we're probably gonna wrap up the well soon. I'm hoping he just gets that done so that it can get off my plate and I could pay him and kind of just move on and start to focus on to the other things. Then today, the engineer met me at the property and we did the little site inspection. He took some measurements and we're going to start that drawing of where we're gonna place septic. And the thing about septic is, right now I'm only gonna have the tiny home on it, but later there's a possibility that I might want to build a barndominium or add something else. So I am paying for a septic that is big enough to accommodate that, but placement is key. So I'm trying to figure out the best place to put it in order to accommodate that. The other thing is, if your well has cement underneath it, like if they do a cement pad, your septic can be 50 feet away from the well. If you don't, which my guy doesn't, that's just not something he does. So if you do any type of other bottom, whether it's they have like the AC pads or gravel or whatever, then your septic has to be 100 feet away. So learned that today. So the placement of that is going to probably change, which is totally fine. Where they want to put it is where I wanted to put the greenhouse, but I think we're just going to have to move some things around. There's plenty of space, so it's not that that's an issue, but I'm trying to still keep stuff relatively close into perspective of like the greenhouse having access to water, power, like things like that. But we'll figure it out. So these are just some of the things that I have come across. If you guys have any questions or you want me to go into detail on any of these vendors specifically or whatever the case is, let me know. Once we're all said and done, I will do a price breakdown and let you know like kind of where I landed and what I was seeing to hopefully help you guys get a better idea for my Texas people. All right, see you later.